What's upper Dub Nation? Rich with Let's Go Warriors here. Gonna do some trade analysis again. We do this a lot, especially this time of year. But this time, something interesting happened. So we got to report on that, and then we got to go and look at cap sheets and see what's possible. Of course, the thumbnail behind me has Steph with both Zion and JJJ, obviously, but it would be one or the other. It's not both. The Zion picture came with Steph in it already, so I couldn't get rid of Steph on that one. And pull up the back screen. Let me fix my background a little bit. And yeah, I'm going to spend the next hour looking at cap sheets, looking at possibilities, hopefully during that process. And by the way, I'm in my bedroom, so my background isn't the best. I should have put my bed sheet up to hide the wall. I'll do that next time. Yeah, so I am going to look at all these different scenarios and go through some cap sheets. It's just a research intensive live stream as it goes for NBA trades and possibilities, but we're going to focus on this one thing that's a news item, honestly, and it all starts with our Discord server. So I'm going to put that Discord server in the comments and pin that. So free Discord server, and put that in there. I should probably figure out a way to do this better. I will when I have more free time. So that will be a pinned comment, a link for you to go check that out. But the main thing is now our Discord server, if I may tout it for a couple minutes, we have these feeds for VIPs. The VIP Discord is $5 a month, and it's a different link, although you might be able to upgrade from the previous one. I need to do a thorough recheck on that, but you just replace the word free with VIP in the link that you see. Well, here's the link for the VIP one, right? Ends in VIP at the end, but the free one ends in free. If you had the VIP one, then you could have all of these feeds. Right here, you get X's and O's as they're happening. You could almost rewatch a game based on all the highlights we have here. I love Steve Jones, good guy. Joe Verray is in there during Warriors games. So these are VIP feeds, and these are real-time feeds from Twitter. NBA live feed has a ton of, I should put this guy, Mr. Buck, technically should go in X's and O's videos and analytics. But there are a lot of reporters that report from the arena. Michael Grange is a Toronto reporter, and so we're going to play Michael. We're going to play the Raptors in a couple days on the back-to-back. So CMB has his thumb in a splint. Who is CMB? I guess we'll figure it out when Toronto comes in. But yeah, Law Murray, Clippers beat writer. So lots of times there's like videos straight from the arena in this one. Now this one's NBA live feed. The Bay Area live feed is all of the Bay Area journalists. It is a subset of NBA, and that the idea here is that when there's a Warriors game, you'll get feeds from the arena from our favorite beat writers, and not necessarily just videos, but also any tweet like Tim Kawakami and so on and so forth. So this is our Discord server. Once you get on this and understand it, it's best thing since sliced bread, honestly, in my opinion. Now, you're going to get a few national news things. I like hoops rumors because they just give you the news and nothing more than the news. Now, so where we want to start with the story of this entire live is, first of all, let me timestamp this. So at the top, we introduction to Discord server, free and VIP version, which is only $5 a month. And then we are now at the 5-minute 30-second timestamp, and I definitely need to be off by 9:30. I haven't even edited the last live that I did with Dean. So editing these into more bite-sized podcasts is a chore. So I don't want to go too long. So maximum an hour. Be out of here by 9:30. Go get my Starbucks, caffeine up, and do the editing. Hopefully in all one fell swoop. Okay. So again, the thumbnail of this live stream has thought experiments, right? So we are thinking of different ways. Now, the whole genesis of Zion or JJJ was really the tweet from Ernie. I won't say his last name. I know his last name, but I won't say it. Who is Jimmy's right-hand man? And here's the tweet. So I put it, well, the Jimmy channel, this is even in the free section, has Ernie's tweets automatically go there. So that's one real cool thing. I mean, sure, you can use Twitter if you want. We also have Instagram feeds, so it's a little bit different. And we do excerpting of the Athletic articles and whatnot. So the Discord is more than just Twitter feeds. However, even if it were just Twitter feeds, it's still better than Twitter, because on Twitter, first of all, you get all these replies that cloud up all the information and give you misinformation, take you down the wrong rabbit hole and whatnot. Whereas when you get the tweets without any of the replies and any of the quote tweets, and you just follow the right accounts, even I don't even have aggregators on here because I need to see them first to make sure that honestly the kid running that aggregator account didn't screw up. So then I would curate that and put them in here once they're curated. And, you know, because I come from the journalism world, I was one of the beat writers for the Warriors. You know, all the guys. We'll have Monty Poole during All-Star Weekend. We'll have some other guys. You know, he's promised to come on. So like I can tell when an aggregated tweet is probably wrong. And but nevertheless, we still have Ernie, who is Jimmy's right-hand man. His tweets feed into the Jimmy channel automatically just in case. And there are some interesting things that have come through here. Now, the most interesting thing is I've buried the lead, but the most interesting thing is right here. A bigger unknown name that hasn't been mentioned. So there was like a poll on Twitter, and it was like, okay, who would you want? List them in order of MPJ or Trey Murphy or Jeremy Grant or Andrew Wiggins, which, by the way, we have a Jeremy Grant idea from a while ago. Here's the MPJ yay or nay one here, and I mean MPJ on paper looks good. I just wonder like if he would fit culturally, and Dean doesn't want MPJ at all. So, but anyways, MPJ live that we did recently, you can go check that one out. And then on our website, I proposed Jeremy Grant. I never got around to doing a live stream for it, but kind of we did, because we talked about a whole bunch of guys right here. Do we wait for Giannis? So every day that passes, waiting for Giannis. Also, I liked the idea of Jeremy Grant right here. So this was a while ago, and I wrote an article on maybe just going after Jeremy. Maybe it's a practical solution. So here's, you know, initial Jeremy Grant thoughts because of the draft picks. I thought maybe we could get Jeremy Grant without giving up any draft picks, for example. But now that Ernie has said, hey, look, there's a bigger name. There's a bigger name than MPJ, Murphy, Grant, or Wiggins. Okay, so who is that? And he goes, it's a bigger unknown name, right? So the next thing you need to do as a good NBA fan, you need to go look at salaries and see what is out there that's bigger. So let's look at bkref.com. It lists all of the salaries in order. And so there's a bigger name than MPJ, Trey Murphy, Jeremy Grant, or Wiggins. So what is it? And to solve that, go to bkref.com, player contracts, and let's just look at the list, because it can't be that hard, right? Now, we're making some assumptions. The first assumption is Ernie's information is rock solid. Well, I would think that the guy that talks to Jimmy on a day-to-day basis probably gets some information here that the average journalist isn't even privy to, right? So there you go, right? So I'm going to throw that out there. Ernie probably gets some better info than any journalist talking to Jimmy every day, right? So so we're about to look at these player contracts, but one thing I haven't done is looked at the comments. So welcome everybody. Smelly Mills Plumbing is in the house. Hey, did you know one thing I've never looked up is Smelly Mills Plumbing. You should change your Melly Mells. You should change your handle to and your logo to Smelly Mills Plumbing. I used to see this truck parked near where I used to live. I used to live near St. Ignatius High School in San Francisco. So they must be based around there. So Melly Mel's, there's your new YouTube profile pic. And Brian Rojas, good to have you. Bloomer, of course. You would vote for Triple J versus Zion, yeah. Yeah, but we want to cover all the bases. Daniel Barry, Sid Kaginu. I know, right? It's different because of the tweet. It's all because of Zion's tweet. Zion's tweet. It's all because of Ernie's tweet. I should do a screenshot of this. And I should go back to Smelly Mells because we need to put Melly Mells on here. Melly, you still there? There you go. Every time you log on, it's Smelly Mells. Smelly Mells Plumbing. Okay. And Rich, the GM. No, I'm not. Definitely not the GM. But I do want to learn from the GM. So that's why we're here. Bloomer throwing in some JJJ commentary, which is cool. Zion is injury prone. I know, right? And yeah, it would take a lot of contracts. So that's another reason for doing this live is to like really sit down and look at which contracts would fit. And I better pull up a spreadsheet. My bad. I've got some spreadsheets from before, I think. Hold on. Let me go look. Better go grab some spreadsheets. Oh, crap. I'm logged in as the wrong guy. JK stays. Yeah, let's do this. JK stays one, and we can switch to that when the time presents itself. Higgs, JJJ is really good, but he's a terrible rebounder. I know. Yep. All of the above. But he just needs to be better than JK. That's the bottom line, or whoever is traded in the trade. Yeah, so we're going off a major assumption here. I mean, it could be wrong. I mean, Ernie could be wrong. So So we're going through the thought processes of pretty much all of the above. But yeah, he would increase our presence, our height. Let's throw some screenshots in the out there into the interwebs. Go back here. That's how I do screenshots. I DM myself on Discord and tweet them out. Okay, what else? But yeah, any big man would be, yeah. Yep. Even now, Jeremy Grant even has an Achilles tendonitis, so they're all flawed. But I hope it's I hope it's Giannis. So there's another thing on our Discord. Sorry to digress, but this must be said, and you guys should go look at this because everything's under the Dunleavy Lakeup Management one. All these trade rumors that there's no Ja Morant trade rumors in this channel meaning on Discord, but everything that I think is realistic for the Warriors is in here. And this one is Zach Lowe says on Prime, the Hawks, Warriors, Lakers, and Heat, maybe the Knicks, sort of thinking to themselves, do we need to keep all of our stuff and wait for Giannis to become available? And yeah, maybe that's yet another live stream, even though we've done it already. It's okay to do repeats. So let's put this whole quote into the notes. The notes are in the description right now. If you go and look at the description, there's timestamps. I'm not going to play this because it's a network TV broadcast. All due respect to Prime. If I play more than 2 seconds, they probably demonetize me and all that, claim copyright, which I get it. But yeah, that's what Zach Lowe said. And so, I thought about it, though. Slight digression right here before we get into the homework is let's do a poll before I move on to the next comment is if you take a moment to dream of Giannis in a Warriors jersey, media intro, July 6th, would you wait for Giannis? Yes, it's worth it. Nah, we are close now. I don't know. Get MPJ, Trey, whatever it is. MPJ. We are trying to fit it in 100 characters. Or, I don't know, maybe abstain. So I just spent a few moments, like last night. Was it last night? Maybe it was. And I go, man, to me, Giannis to the Warriors would make, 29 other teams jealous. So, man, I'd wait. I'd make a deal to bring someone in for if Giannis is not available, I would make a deal to preserve our future picks. But that can mean use the 2026 pick. Now, Eric G of NBADraft.net has told us, no, don't use that pick because this draft is deep and you're going to get at least a role player or something. I don't know. That's why I suggested Jeremy Grant, because I thought that might not require a draft pick. The other reason why Zion, not to not to already get into that subject, but the other reason to go after Zion is maybe you can get him without the draft pick as well. So, yeah, and we'll go through the Zion contract as well because it's non-guaranteed. So there's some possibilities that you can do with that. So if you could go into the future and look back at the summer of 2026 and say that, wow, we got Zion that summer, that means I'm out on MPJ because that's going to cost a future first rounder. I'm also out on Trey Murphy. So where do you guys stand on that? I just think Trey Murphy and MPJ makes us contending, but it doesn't pencil us into the Western Conference Championship, whereas Giannis would pencil us in. Like there would not be a single person that wouldn't think that we're going to be in the Western Conference Championship, and we would probably leapfrog the Spurs just barely because the Spurs will only have 1 year of playoff experience. So those are all the reasons why I would actually. So basically, I'm out on MPJ. Dean was already out on MPJ. He didn't like MPJ to begin with, and I don't think he's the most perfect fit, especially like culturally. Like I don't know. You never know until he came here whether it's a fit or not culturally. But I got a little swayed by Eric G on that. Eric G from NBA NBA Draft.net was telling me that MPJ probably doesn't want to come here, probably doesn't want to play second fiddle or third fiddle, probably wants to take all those shots that he can take in Brooklyn, probably isn't ring chasing yet. And that makes sense. He's still young. He's not like, you start to ring chase around, mid 30s and stuff. So I'm out on MPJ and, kind of similar thing with Trey Murphy. And that's why is the thought of us actually having a realistic chance at Giannis, like a lot of other teams are thinking they have a realistic chance of. And right here, Zach Lowe just mentioned them: Hawks, Warriors, Lakers, Heat. Now the Lakers don't have enough draft picks, so we're going to look at that. The Hawks, maybe they do, I don't know. And the Heat, I'm not sure, but we're going to look at this. I wonder if we should look at it right now. Yeah, I think we should look at it right now after I look at some more comments. Good to have you, Dean, on here. What are the odds that Giannis would recruit? Exactly. What are the odds? The odds change every day, right? The odds get better each day if the Bucks lose, continue to lose. You're asking me to predict the future. Nobody on this earth can predict that future. So don't be addicted to predicting. Rule number one in life: don't be addicted. Top five rule in life: don't be addicted to predicting. You know what I said about crap, especially in basketball? Basketball crap metaphor acronym is what does C stand for? No comparisons, because comparisons are the thief of joy. No rankings, no awards. Who cares about awards? And no predictions. So those are my top 5 rules of life. Thanks, Dean. Wingman Chambers. I wouldn't call it an idiotic situation, first of all. And I actually talked about it last night. So go check out our timestamps from last night. Check timestamps for JK, Steve, personal, or Godfather, Godfather metaphor. I talked about that last night. So yeah, I don't look at anything as idiotic. There are reasons for everything. There's a reason that I got into a car crash trying to get to Sacramento, morning shoot around. You could call that idiotic, but then I would be hating on myself for the rest of my life. I can't call myself an idiot for something that I did, haphazardly forever. So things happen. Don't need to judge them. Just things happen. Was the tweet about a big man? No, it was bigger name. Could be Ja Morant. You never know. Dean Chambers gave a Ja Morant trade scenario. I just want more height. I look at the TV screen and I see 5 little guys. That's why I don't want Ja Morant. No offense to Ja. Speaking of which, Dean brought it up. I look at the TV screen. There's another barometer of how to improve the Warriors, in my opinion. Look at the TV screen. Do we look freaking small? Okay. Then if a guy that you bring in continues to make us look freaking small, now maybe Ja will jump out of the gym every, 4 possessions. Okay. Then that's jumping off the screen. Okay. And I wanted it to be JK, right? I always did. So I'm going to make a Ja rule. You get it? The Ja rule is if we look at the TV screen and we're still small, we still look like an under 6 foot team, like it is. I used to run an under 6 foot division in my league, and there's a distinct difference. So that's the Ja rule for me. What else? Catching up on the comments before we dive into Giannis possibilities. And I only have half an hour left, so maybe I should save that till the end. I used to want Giannis, but I don't want to get rid of either Green or Butler. What? Really? I'm surprised by the Butler one. But he's been playing better. What else? Dean went back to work. Traditional wing or traditional 4? Yeah, see, no, I agree. What about a center? Who knows? The center problem is, okay, so this is a good point. Sid Kagano. Now, I'm not going to have time to, unfortunately, put any of these nice comments by you that I put on the screen into tweets because I'm trying to get out of here by 9:30. We have half an hour. And if I'm trying to do marketing on social media while I'm doing this, forget it. Okay. But what about a center? Now, the center issue, now this video is not covering the center issue. This video does not cover centers because the main thing for me is the big name thing from Ernie, due to big name by Ernie. And if you go look at the list of big names over here, there are, maybe Anthony Davis, but that's too big of a name. That's 54 million. I'll come back to that in a second. But why would Ernie say a big name that involves Jimmy in a trade? That makes no sense. Right. So due to big name by Ernie, and also most importantly, Gafford, Claxton. No, actually, Claxton makes more. So Claxton is a special case. Gafford doesn't make enough money to clear out a roster spot. So I'm a little confused by that one. Like we talked about last night, Gafford and Clay for like JK and somebody, but I thought the idea was to open up a roster spot for possibly Pat Spencer, but I don't know. But this video is not going to cover that. In fact, we already covered that in the previously posted in the comments, the URLs for those lives. Complex roster issues considering Pat Spencer, who, by the way, is getting closer and closer to the maximum game limit. So on these, how many first rounders? Depends. If it's Zion, I hope none. But I don't think New Orleans is going to want none. And that's why I'm leaning towards JJJ. But you could maybe get for one 2026 first rounder. I think that's doable. Zion for one first rounder and salary matching. I think that's why I think that's a possibility. Zion might only require 2026 first rounder. And the reason why you do the 2026 is because then once the 2026 draft is over, then you've got 27, 29, 30. Well, actually, no, because our 2030 is protected. So there needs to be a guarantee that we have a pick that year. So then we're down to 3. Wow, I hadn't thought about that. It's good to come onto the live and peel the onion together and think about this. So maybe it might only require the 26, 28, 30, 32. Then you're down to 3. Yeah, then I'm right back to not wanting this deal. Okay, so Zion might only require 1 first rounder. What year it is, don't know. Let's see. Well, you didn't. I mean, there's another on the Giannis always seems like he's committed to the Bucks. There's another. You got to get on our Discord, brother. If I go to the Jimmy section, there's another one here where talks about it. I wonder where I put it though. Okay. If I can't find it in 10 more seconds, I abandon the search. Right here, I found it. Another Ernie tweet. He says, even though Giannis is saying that I will never ask for a trade, Ernie says that. You can read it on your screen. Agents have agents do it behind closed doors. So for those of you thinking Giannis always says he won't leave, there's your answer. He already hinted at it to Miami. Yeah, kind of this. Okay, I got to fly through these comments a little bit faster here. Yep, Dean Chambers was all for Jimmy Butler at the time. Wouldn't mind seeing Clay back. Yeah, I talked about it last night. I don't think Clay wants to come here, though. So if he has any say in the matter, which he may not, but okay, so we're about to get into it here. Bruce is here. Okay, so be careful, Bruce. I might ban you. All right, so let's look at the names. We're finally 10 minutes later, and we got 22 minutes left. Looking at the bigger names. I looked at the names, and first of all, it's got to be what? It's got to be JK salary, because we're not trading Draymond. The assumptions we're making, number one, not trading Draymond because Steph loves him, Steve loves him. We need him on defense. So not trading Draymond is number one. Second assumption, not trading Jimmy, which is why, honestly, I wanted to do this live, because it took another variable out of this equation. So when Ernie is over here talking about a bigger unknown name that hasn't been mentioned, like, okay, so it's a bigger name and it doesn't involve Jimmy in the trade, because why would this guy have information on a bigger name that involves his buddy, that involves the guy in the trade? So it has to be, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, right? So if we're basing everything off of this tweet, then it can't be for Jimmy. So it has to be JK salary, Moody, which gets you to, you can memorize this now, 34 million, and then Buddy, which is 43.5 million total. So therefore, bigger name equals 43.5 million or less, right? So just looking at the math, I mean, that's what we do here. We're just peeling the onion a bit. So that's what I think is going on. I'll even screenshot myself on that one. By the way, how many people on Substack we got? Be cool to find out. I'm always curious. Substack, 6 viewers. Nice. So we got to find somebody 43.5 million or less. So if the bigger name is like, LeBron, it ain't happening, because we can't trade, 6 players for one. It's not Draymond and it's not Jimmy, right? So I'm looking down this list. So it's not Kawhi. It's got to go down here. I mean, is it Sabonis? That'd be crazy, huh? It could be Sabonis. What do you guys think? Let's end the previous poll and throw up some names. Sabonis seems like a repeat of Draymond, right? Why'd you get another guy that does stuff that Draymond does? But he's a name nevertheless. Who is the bigger name? Sabonis, less than 43.5 million. Sabonis is at 42.3. Or it's not OG Anunoby. I mean, why would the Knicks trade him? Like, in fact, he played great against us. Nearly brought the Knicks back all on his own a couple nights ago. Obviously, we have Zion. Zion at 39.4 million. And I should screenshot the poll that we just did. Send that to myself for later. Ja Morant seems like too small, right? Darius Garland, Ja or Darius seems to be kind of similar. They have the exact same salary. And it's not Harden because the Clippers already said they're not trading him. It's not Scotty Barnes because he's the face of the Raptors. It's not Franz Wagner because Orlando would be crazy to do that. In fact, they went to Germany just now and, even further solidified the Orlando Magic connection to not only Franz, but also Moritz. It's obviously not Shea. It could be MPJ, but it's not MPJ because Ernie says it's another name that's bigger than MPJ. It's not Brandon Ingram because I don't think his name is bigger than Michael Porter Jr. It's not Tyrese Maxey. He's the face of the Sixers. It could be LaMelo, but LaMelo would be 38 million would be another point guard, although taller. And LaMelo didn't do enough, in my opinion, even against us both times. Like, he doesn't jump off the page for me. Brandon Miller jumps off the page, but he's not the one making 38 million. So I don't think it's him. It's definitely not Fox because the Spurs wouldn't trade him. It's probably not Bam because, Miami and Pat Riley, they love Bam, right? He's like the face of the franchise. Desmond Bane, no, because they just traded for him. It's not Kyrie. It's not Ayton because Ayton plays for the Lakers. So then I land on Jaren Jackson Jr., right? So that's how I did this. It's probably not Jalen Suggs, yet again, another point guard. It's probably not Rudy Gobert. Also, we got to look at length of contract because the Warriors don't want to commit themselves past the summer of 27. So going through all of this again, Sabonis makes it one extra. Yeah, that's too many years. So I don't even think anyone would vote for Sabonis. So Sabonis's contract is too long. Just going through the process here. Who else do we have? Zion's contract is interesting, so we'll take a look at that before we get out of here at 9:30. 15 more minutes. I ran out of time. We didn't really get to cap sheets. Maybe on we have a back-to-back, so Monday, Tuesday, maybe on Wednesday. Ja Morant contract goes a little too long. LaMelo Ball. Darius Garland, same thing. LaMelo Ball, way too long. So forget LaMelo. We got to take a combination of all these variables. Now, Jaren Jackson Jr. makes a lot for a long time. So that would be a vote against JJJ. Despite extension 50 mil plus multiple years. Man, I don't even know about the player option, it being green here. So it's kind of tough to, find a name here that makes sense. Plus these are player options. Like Jeremy Grant has a player option, but the idea here for that year would be, okay, we're going to extend you out 4 more years and give us a discount. So that's the idea in that. And I don't think any of these names down here are any bigger than MPJ, right? The Wiggins contract looks very attractive, though, by the way. So I should say, I would put Wiggins in there as a possible choice as well. So I don't think any of these names are bigger than MPJ or Trey Murphy, right? So yeah, give me a name. I don't know, but let's just go delete this one. Someone other than the below. I just erased Sabonis from the list. Bring Looney back at $8 million. I don't know about that. Nah, he makes too much. But kudos to Looney. He got himself a little bit of a bag before calling it a career, or before going back to veteran minimums. Okay, so let's take a look at the Zion contract. Spottrack.com, Zion Williamson. So Spottrack is where you go if you want to look at the details of a contract. So let's put that in the chat. Zion contract. This is why I thought, now we're looking at it from a contract perspective. Jaren Jackson Jr., boy, you're really putting all your marbles in him to be like the face of the franchise in the future. Now, it's doable, and I guess I wouldn't mind it. I like change every now and then on a basketball team. I used to do that with my own teams that I put into rec leagues. It's fun to try and mix up the chemistry a little bit and improve little by little, or what have you, especially for tournaments. What was I going to say? The JJJ contract seems like you're really going all in for that, and I don't know. I think it goes against the thinking of, let's go back to that page, right? BK ref salaries. Let's go to actually the Warriors. Hoops Hype salaries, teams and contracts. The reason I like Hoops Hype for looking at out years of teams is that we can see this nice table here. It's nice, right? You can see how everything stops here other than Moses Moody, okay? Even Brandon Pajemski's extension doesn't need to be figured out until then, right? So here's the team salaries for the Warriors, giving you all these links. Hopefully you'll use them and just come back to them over and over again. So when you look at this, you kind of go, this is when the dreaming of Giannis comes back. Even if we were not to get Giannis until then, or there's a whole bunch of free agents, NBA free agents, summer 2027. Now look at these free agents coming up. Like we could get, theoretically Karl Anthony Towns. Theoretically, Donovan Mitchell. There are some nice names on here. Giannis himself, obviously. Really, those two, right? Then you're hitting Michael Porter and below range, which is like, Wouldn't you, So you look out to summer 2027, it's a blank slate other than Moses Moody at 13 million. And you're like, oh, just think ahead. How fun is summer 2027 going to be for us? It's going to be the most fun off season ever. And so when you look at this, you kind of go, oh, okay, I see what you're doing, Mike Dunleavy. I see what you're doing, Joe Lacob. I'm not mad that you're, that there's nothing like that, we haven't done a deal yet, or I'm not mad that, you haven't already, the train hasn't been really chugging on the MPJ thing. I'm not mad at the fact that there's reports out there saying that we're lukewarm on MPJ. Like when you start thinking about summer 2027 and like cap sheet management, it is hit the reset button. You kind of go, okay, Steph, okay, Draymond, you help me. I'm pretending I'm Mike Dunleavy and Joe Lacob. You help me build this team. here's what we have in mind. We can go and get Donovan Mitchell or Karl Anthony Towns. Draymond on the podium the other night praising Towns like crazy. I thought Cat could have played even more physical, but that's where Draymond comes in to be his muse over in 2027, 28. Doesn't it feel a lot more promising all of a sudden now that I've told you the strategy is to clear the books in summer 2027 and you have all of these options? It's going to be the most wild summer for a Warriors fan ever, more so than KD. It is going to blow the KD summer of 2016 out of the water. I said it here first. Summer 2027 will shockingly now, but not by then, blow 2016 out of the water as the most exciting offseason ever. So that really puts things in perspective. And that's why, because me and Dean Chambers and, Yossi Goslin, Eric G, we all know this. We never really get mad at Joe Lacob or Mike Dunleavy because we can see the out. You have the biggest out ever here, where you basically get to build a brand new team with presumably Steph and Draymond taking discounts. So, man, that was a big digression, but it was worth it to infuse a little inspiration. But, so I kind of have patience, and whatever we do at this trade deadline, I think the team is getting better anyways. And like I said, I think just a Wiggins or a Jeremy Grant could improve the team drastically. I'd like to see Jeremy Grant. I know that kind of messes up this, but I'd like to see whatever solution it is that doesn't give away the possibility of Giannis. So looking at the Zion contract, here is Perv Mike Vorkunov, who did great reporting, great job by Spot Track, and my guy Keith Smith to document all of this on a website. So you look at Zion just in case, and you go, okay, well, 26, 27, non-guaranteed. What we can do, 25, 26, non-guaranteed. What we can do is we can just say, okay, we're going to waive you. Hope you pass through waivers. I don't know. And come up with a new contract after that. So the fact that it's all non-guaranteed here, this part actually fits the summer 2027 strategy, because you could do something there. You could sign and trade him. That would cap us at the first. That would cap the other team at the first apron, though. So the Zion contract is actually more amenable to this strategy. So the Zion contract might actually work for our summer 2027 empty slate strategy. So that's a vote for getting Zion's contract versus JJJ. So I'm running out of time here. I didn't get to the part where I'd actually go to a spreadsheet like here and formulate. I didn't. Every time we do a live, we take forever just talking ears off. But it's in response to what you say in the comments and whatnot. I'm trying to find my spreadsheet. Here we go. No, that's not it. Here we go. This is my spreadsheet thing that I could, we were going to go here and type in JJJ, type in Zion. I've actually done a Zion before. Let me see if I can find it. I've done a JJJ before. View more. I've done Monk. So maybe, yeah. Oh, this is old. These JJJ ones was over the summer, so those don't count because of the base year compensation problem. So never mind that. But one of these days we'll come back here, fix the spreadsheet. Yossi did a Giannis one, so maybe one day when I've run out of things to say on live streams, we'll come back and do all this heavy lifting. Get a first real expiring contract? Why? I don't know that has anything to do with it. How would that work? Wiggins again. Oh well on MPJ. Oh, why is it oh well? Just curious because I don't think he's told us. All the other ones I think you've explained to us. Wiggins again, I get that. You never liked Clay after he left us. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Melly Mel. Ah, thanks, brother. I should screenshot this, but it would be, I'm screenshotting it without actually doing anything on the spreadsheet. So the screenshot is actually a lie. I didn't actually do any salary cap matching. My bad. But I ran out of time and wanted to make sure covered all the bases, especially in the comments. Yeah, process of elimination, right? That's kind of what I did just here. And we'll see. I mean, we'll come right back to this spreadsheet once the actual trade is made, and we'll look at it and we'll piggyback off of Yossi Goslin. Oh, there you go, Bruce. Yeah. Yeah, I'm the way we're playing, I'm getting more confidence in the team. Like I feel like, let me be quite honest. I feel like Draymond isn't going to trick off any more games. There, I said it. And yes, some of it is Steph's fault as well. The tricking off of games. We've already tricked off at least 4 games, and it was their fault. So I'm going to leave that there. What else can I put in the back screen? Yeah. So I am also appreciative right now because we're not tricking off any more games. Thanks to Draymond and Steph being focused and not throwing the ball to the other team that many times. So yeah, because Dray and Steph aren't tricking off games anymore. And I love the fact that Jimmy admitted to that literally on our website, letsgowarriors.com, to close on this note. To that. Oops. The live streams always show up right on our website, our Substack. But Jimmy Butler, we get bored with the process. What? You said it. You admitted it. So yeah, that's why they've come to grips with the fact that they do that. So next live is tomorrow, 7 o'clock Pacific time. I'm going to go enjoy a Frappuccino now to pat myself on the back for getting on this live and educating people just a little bit more, maybe. But I'm really happy you said that, Mel. I'm glad I could help understand the trade process a little bit more. Like I say, try to go top down. And when the top is Giannis and he seems to be available at least as of tonight, well, then, okay. Then let me just wish for that. If you had to go wish for something that's plausibly undeniable. And I gave you the facts to break those down. And I gave you the secret tweets, the under the radar tweets that might help you out and giving you reassurance that, yes, Giannis is still a possibility. Yes, they are looking at a bigger name other than MPJ. And we'll see. So I got to think that this bigger name we can get without surrendering too many draft picks, like 2026, and that's it. And that's all I have to say for tonight. So thank you for joining. Again, try to join our Discord. It's on the link for the Discord is pinned at the top of the comments. And we'll see what happens. I mean, maybe, worst case scenario, something comes up and it's like, Ernie, you were wrong, Ernie, right? That's fine too, because then you just gain a little bit more information that maybe Ernie's tweets aren't that reliable after all, right? So we're going to learn something from this trade deadline, that's for sure. So we'll see what that is. Maybe Ernie's tweets aren't reliable. So we'll see what comes out of this, right? Are we really going to have no contracts other than Moses Moody after 2027 summer? Is that going to hold? Is the first round draft pick going to hold? Is the idea of holding on to those draft picks for Giannis, is that going to hold? So cool. That's what we're looking at. All right, guys. So I will see you tomorrow night. I don't have the outro again. I just haven't had time editing all these things, but I'm having fun editing and I hope we get more views. So be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff when you're out there, when you see a video from Let's Go Warriors. Appreciate it, y'all. We'll see you tomorrow, and then we got another game right after that, and man, bam, bam. So let's win 2 more in a row. Take care. We get to see Wiggs back at Chase. First time at Chase, I believe. Take care, guys. Just us 1, 2, 3. Brate. And I love you, buddy.